So we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody, or, well, it's afternoon in everyone's time zone right now. No, except on the West Coast. Good morning to you. If you have any questions during the presentation, just use the chat uh, box on the toolbar. We'll have a Q&A at the end. I'll answer all your questions. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Gina Thomas. I am the training manager at C&K Systems and your hostess for Training Bites, a digestible approach to counterpoint training. So the holidays are just around the corner. And so you're probably wondering how you can maximize sales and move product efficiently and maybe, excuse me, offer some value to your customers during their holiday shopping season. So today we're going to talk about bills of materials and sales kits. These are features in Counterpoint. And basically, no matter which feature you use, it's a way of bundling product. Now, the differences in a bill of material or a sales kit, excuse me, kit, is at point of sale and how they look at point of sale, how they print on receipts, and when and how your inventory is impacted, and your reporting. But again, just a way of bundling product. So let's start with a bill of material. A bill of material is taking existing product that you sell and putting it together to make a new product. For example, maybe I have a line of health and beauty items and I sell them all individually, shampoos, cream rinse, soap, all that, sell it individually. But to kind of maximize my sales at Christmas, instead of selling them individually, I'll make a new product, called a gift basket with these items. Bills of material do not allow for substitutions at point of sale. Basically, what the customer sees in the gift basket is what they get. A bill of material relies on something called a quick assembly, which is what actually updates your inventory quantities. And bills of material are ideal. They're ideal for gift baskets or grab and go products. Like, let's say you have a garden center. And in your garden center, you're going to be selling wreaths for Christmas and you're going to be selling Christmas decorations. But then you're going to take some wreaths out of stock and you're going to take some Christmas decorations out of stock and you're going to pre-make a pre-decorated wreath, price it, hang it on the wall. Customer comes in, they see it, they love it, they grab it, pay it for it, and go. So lots of different things you can do with the bill of material. So when it comes to making a bill of material, you have to create an inventory item that represents the finished product and what the price of the finished product is. You don't have to enter a last cost when you're building. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say that when you're building a new item. No, don't add the last cost this time. Counterpoint will figure out your cost for you based on the components that you put in the bill of material. So once you create the bill of material, you go to quick assemblies and you post the bill of material, and the quick assemblies will reduce the components. So it'll take components out of stock and it'll add to the finished product. And we'll see all that in the software a little bit later on. So to set up a bill of material, you just go to inventory bills of material. In the item lookup, you select the item that represents the finished product. In this case, I made a patio set. This is the finished product. And in my patio set is one table and 4 chairs. And I just select them by going to this item lookup down here. Once I'm done with my bill of material, I kind of like to think of it as a recipe because it's a recipe to make that patio set. Next, I'm going to go to Inventory Quick Assemblies, Enter. I'm going to select my patio set on the item number lookup. And then I'm going to enter down here to the quantity. Tell Counterpoint how many patio sets I want to make. And then I'm going to post. And when I post, my finished product will now have 2 on hand. My table will have 2 less, and my chairs will have 8 less. Because if you remember on the previous slide, I said this set comes with 4 chairs. So when I post that quick assembly, 8 chairs come out of stock. Some bill of material notes, and again, differences between sales kits and bills of material. When you do a bill of material and you sell it, the finished product is what prints on the receipt, not the components. When you do sales reporting, your only option is to report on the sales of the finished product. So the sales of the finished product don't say you sold these components. It says you sold this gift basket. Kind of a bummer about bills of material is that there isn't a mechanism to break the assembly. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say I built 2 of these patio sets. I sold one of them, and now I'm not going to sell the last set. I'm just going to put it back into stock. So I have to actually go to the finished product and do a downward inventory adjustment. And then I have to visit the components and do an upward adjustment for what I'm putting back in stock. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Now, sales kits. There's 3 flavors of sales kits. There's tag-along sales kits and grouped tag-along sales kits. This is bundling together product at full price. The only difference between the tag-along and the grouped tag-along is the group tag-along will force the sale of items within the bundle. And I'll actually demonstrate that to you a little bit later on. Then there's this cool thing called miscellaneous sales kits. This is where you can sell bundled product at a lower price than if you had purchased each item individually. So just kind of the overview about the tag-alongs. You're selling at full price. People use these tag-alongs for bottle deposits or like services. Like let's say every time I sell this coat, there's automatically going to be an alteration fee associated with it. So you would make the coat the parent and you would make the component your alteration. So anytime you sold that coat, Counterpoint would automatically put the alteration on the ticket as well. You can, define a price for it or do a price on the fly. If the customer decides they don't want the alteration, or maybe they want the alterations and not the coat, you can delete items off of these tag-along sales kits at point of sale. With a group tag-along, it's a slightly different story, but I'll show you that. So if you go to Inventory Sales Kits, on the item lookup, you're going to select the item. And then down here in the lower half of the page, you're going to select the item. And notice the kit type is tag-along. So here's my item, my bottle of Coke. And anytime anyone buys a bottle of Coke, they're going to owe me a bottle deposit. And then you just save. So there's no posting, you just save. And once you save it, the sales kit is available at point of sale. Now, when it comes to miscellaneous sales kits, this is where we're selling products that we sell separately at a higher price, but if they're purchased together, it's going to be a lower price. And what's nice about sales kits is that I don't have to make a fancy basket or anything. I'm not going to all that trouble to put basket and ribbon and all that stuff. I'm just going to have an impact table and say, select any flavor lotion, any flavor shampoo, any flavor soap, or any flavor mist for one low price. And when it comes to your customers, they can actually substitute. So, by default, it's the eucalyptus flavor. But then the customer says, no, instead of eucalyptus, I want lavender. So that you're allowed those substitutions on the fly at point of sale. Now, in order to make a miscellaneous sales kit, the parent item has to be non-inventory. And it's the parent item that dictates the retail price of the entire bundle. So if you go to inventory sales kits, and I used a patio set in this example again. So I choose my item. This is a non-inventory item. And because it's a non-inventory item, it can be a miscellaneous kit type. So then I just come down to the item number lookup, look up my items, put my components in here. I can even come down here and allow substitutions. So maybe my patio chairs come in black, but I have some in white as well. and the customer wants the white ones instead of the black ones. So we can allow substitutions. And then you save when you're done, and as soon as you save, it's ready for point of sale. When it comes to your sales, when you sell a sales kit, all the components print on the receipt. And when it comes to sales reporting, sales kits are a little bit more robust. You can print or you can run sales reports on the finished product, or you could run sales reports on the components, or both on one report. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the software. So I'm going to go to inventory. I'm going to go to items. And I'm going to go to this item lookup. And in my inventory, I sell some health and beauty product. So you can see it all here. And I want you to notice that, at the retail level, they all sell for $25 individually. And you can notice the cost. And you can see I have plenty available to sell on hand. So the first thing I need to do, I'm going to talk bills of material first. The first thing I need to do for my bill of material, this is the gift basket, is I need to set up an item that represents the finished product. So I'm just going to auto assign, and I'm going to make a eucalyptus, that I can even spell, eucalyptus gift basket. And I'm just going to leave it as an inventory item, give it a retail. So this gift basket is $99.99. $99.99. Now remember, you don't have to put in a cost. Counterpoint's going to figure out the cost when you do the quick assembly, and it's going to figure out the cost based on the components that go in this gift basket. And then, of course, you should have a category. Mine defaulted to golf, which is wrong. We want it to be bath and body. And we'll give it a subcategory of bath and body. And you could even make the vendor yourself since you're the one making the product. So now I'm going to save. And I want you to notice that when I save this, there's no quantity on hand. I just built an item. So now next, I'm going to build my bill of material. Kind of think of it as a recipe. So I'm going to go to inventory, bills of material. I'm going to go into the item lookup and find the finished product. So it's gift basket. And then down here in the lower half of the screen, I'm going to select the items. So I'm going to go into my item lookup. And there's my lotion. And I'm just going to give it a quantity of 1. And then I'm going to find some shampoo. You have to spell right. And you have to select the items one at a time. You just can't bulk select. One of these days we'll have bulk select. And I'm going to find some spray mist. There it is. And there's going to be one of those. Now, I want to put my items in a fancy basket. So I'm going to go do a lookup for my fancy basket. So there's a basket. Going to take that out of inventory. And notice I have 15 of these, right? And I only need 1 basket. And I'm also going to put some ribbon on the gift basket, make it look really fancy. So here's my ribbon that's in stock. I sell it, by the foot if people want to buy it separately. And, I usually just need a foot to make a ribbon. However, maybe I'll need 2 feet of ribbon. You never know. So at the point of assembling the product, if I allow quantity change, then I can use more than 1 foot. Now let's talk about these substitutions, because this doesn't happen at point of sale. This is substitutions at the point of assembly. So let's say, for example, at the point of assembly, I went to put in the eucalyptus shampoo, or I actually need the lotion. I actually went to put in this lotion, and I'm out of stock. So can I substitute this particular spa product for another product? So I can say from substitute items, meaning substitute items on the item record. here's what that looks like. Here's an item record. I'm just going to go to edit. I'm going to come to this tab, substitute items. So if I say substitute items, the substitute has to be in here. Or I could say, you know what, instead of going through all that work, I'm just going to say, use it from this filter over here. So if I don't have any eucalyptus lotion from Spa, go ahead and use the lotion from Acme. Okay, and now I'm going to save. So all I've done at this point is I've made my recipe for my gift basket. My inventory has not been impacted. But now it's the next morning. And, before I open, I'm going to make up 3 gift baskets. So I'm going to go to inventory, quick assembly center. And I'm going to go into this item lookup. And the cool thing about the item lookup when you're in quick assemblies is you only see your bills of material. You only see your recipes. It's kind of like a recipe box, right? So I'm going to select this eucalyptus gift basket. I'm going to press my enter key. In the quantity field, I'm going to tell Counterpoint to build 3 of these gift baskets. Now, when I press my enter key, here's all my components. Notice 2 of the components are in green, which means either they allow a substitution or they allow a quantity change at this point. So if I highlight the eucalyptus lotion, you can see this item number. I can go into the lookup and I can select this from the filter. If I try and do that with one of the other components, see how the lookup is grayed out? If I need more than a foot of ribbon, I can actually come all the way over here to the right and say, don't use 1 foot because I'm going to make a fancy bow. I need to use 2 feet. Then when you're all finished, you have to come down here to post. This is what moves the inventory around. This is what adds quantity to the finished product and reduces the quantity by 3, a ribbon even more than that, at the end of the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and post. Okay, so that quick assembly is done, and now my inventory is impacted. So let's go to inventory and items. And let's go look at that gift basket. There it is. So a couple things. Now you have a quantity on hand of 3, because we made 3 baskets. And your last cost was based on all the components that went into the gift basket. If I do a lookup for my eucalyptus products, they've all been reduced by 3. So you can see the quantity available. Now let's see how it looks at point of sale. So let's go to point of sale. Let's go to there. I'll just go ahead and auto activate my drawer. It's always that last bar that takes the longest. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do a lookup for my gift basket. There it is. I click OK. So you can see on the point of sale screen, the only thing that's displayed is the finished product. Now I'm going to go ahead and cash out. And then when you look at the receipt, or when the customer gets their receipt, the only thing on the receipt is the finished product, not the components. And of course, the inventory gets updated at the end of the night when you post. So I'm just going to go ahead and post so we can see some sales. Okay, so now I want to report. If I go into my ticket history, a journal of all my sales. I'm going to go to point of sale, reports and history, ticket history. Now, that word history is here. Anytime you run a report with the word history, make sure you use filters. Otherwise, you'll get your history from the dawn of time. So I'm going to come here to the ticket history tab. I'm just going to put in today's date. Okay, so here's my finished product that I just sold. This is from my earlier session. This is the one that we just did, that one right there. So you can see on this sales report, only the finished product is showing up, not the components. The same is true in sales history. If I'm running an item level report. So if I go to sales history, reports, and I go to sales analysis by group, which is like my favorite report. I already have one pre-built for items. So I'm going to go to options, load parameters, and I'm going to find sales by item. And I'm just going to go ahead and preview. Now again, remember I had an earlier session today. So these were items that were sold with a tag-along sales kit or a miscellaneous sales kit. And here is the one that I just sold. So again, only reporting at that finished product level, not the eucalyptus components that went into it. So that's bills of material. Now let's talk about sales kits. So a sales kit, remember I mentioned there's like lots of flavors of them, 3 flavors actually. I'm going to go to inventory. I'm going to go to sales kits. And I'm going to just find one that I already have set up. So there was one, oh, wrong place for lookup. Gotta go into the toolbar lookup. This golf round. Notice the kit type is tag along. So anytime I put golf round on a ticket, it's going to pull over the 18 holes. It's going to pull over the cart. If you look at the bottom, there's a component prompt, does a golfer, want to ride in a cart? Yes, no. If you say yes, it adds the cart to the ticket. If you say no, it doesn't add it to the ticket. And they're also going to get a shirt. And then you can even come down here and say, would the golfer like to add a shirt? And you can even prompt for the color and size. So let me show you how this looks at point of sale. Oh, by the way, there's also a display note you can put. Even though it says 18 holes here, the display note says this golf round is 9 holes. So let's see how it looks at point of sale. And again, this is full price selling. So I'm just going to go back to point of sale. See if I remember my password. Yes, even I forget my password. I'll activate the drawer. Run to Starbucks while we're waiting. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select that golf round. There's one of my prompts. So if I say no to this, Counterpoint will not add that cart. I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. Oh, do you want to add a shirt? If I say no, Counterpoint won't add the shirt. But I'm going to say yes. And Counterpoint wants to know what color and size. This is coming from a prompt for price. I'm just going to click OK on that. Here's my display note. Here's the thing about tag-along kits. Let's say my sales associate answered yes to everything. And then the customer says, well, I really don't want that shirt. Well, they can highlight this line and they can just void the line. Goodbye. I really don't want those alterations either. Okay, goodbye. So that's selling a tag-along sales kit. And the fact that you can void lines off the ticket or at point of sale, void lines off the ticket. So if you just want to build one, we'll just build one from scratch real quick. I'm just going to go to inventory and sales kits. So I'm going to say that I sell a shirt. Here it is here. And anytime I sell this shirt, I know I'm going to have alterations. So I went into this lookup and I chose my alterations. And there we go. Now, the alterations, it's a service item, first of all. Just let's go look at the item record. So you can see it's a service item. It could be non-inventory. It could even be an inventory item if you want. Uh, you could set the retail price here, or maybe leave it at 0 because the alteration price is always different. And then come here to Other and enable prompt for price. Okay. So now I'm going to put down a component prompt, do you need any alterations? And again, it's a tag along item, full price selling. So now we're going to go into point of sale and sell that shirt. Oh, why did I close out a point of sale? Now we can languish while it loads. Or my counterpoint just might decide it's too tired to behave right now. Okay, so we're going to sell the shirt. I'm going to choose my size and color. Okay, so there's my prompt. Yes, I need alterations, and there's my prompt for price. And again, I can always delete that line. When I print my sales receipt, both these lines are going to show. So I'm just going to click OK. And there it is, both lines. Now, a grouped tag along is essentially the same thing. It's full price selling. However, you can force some of the items to remain on the ticket. In other words, you don't want your salespeople voiding lines off the ticket. Otherwise it's what do they call it? There's no deal. So I'm going to find a grouped tag along. So I'm going to go into my lookup. It's a deal breaker. That's what I was looking for. Here's something called starter kit. So notice it's a grouped tag along. So anytime I sell this starter kit, it's going to pull all these items over to the ticket. Now, something worth noticing is notice this golf lesson. And if I come down here, I can see a prompt right there. But do I require it? Do I require it to remain on the ticket? So we can see the golf lesson isn't required. But this range of bucket balls is required. Bag of tea is not required. But the sports coat is, and so is the putter. So let's go sell this now. I can't believe I closed out a point of sale again. Remind me not to close point of sale. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and sell the starter kit. Yes, I want you to schedule a lesson. Oh, let me choose my color and size here. Okay, so now let's say I try to delete the bag of teas. Remember, this wasn't required. The bag of teas was not required. So I can come over here and I can void that line. However, the range balls were required. So if I go to the range balls here and I void this line, it takes away the entire sales kit. So a group tag along will force sales on items. Okay, so let's talk about miscellaneous sales kits. So that's where I can sell my line of health and beauty for one low price. If you buy these all separately, it's going to cost you $75. But if you buy them together, I'll sell them for $49.99. So what I need to do is I need to build an item that represents that bundled product. So I'm just going to go into inventory items. And I'm going to call the bundled product, I'm going to call it Spa Special for the holidays. Okay. Now here's the important part. It has to be non-inventory or it's not going to work. And I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so what am I going to sell? I'm going to sell this for $49.99. So no matter what the price is of the original of the components, no matter what their price is, everything sells for $49.99. Of course, and then, I'll put in my MSRP here, $49.99. And I'll need a category, so we'll do health and beauty or bath and body. And then we'll do a subcategory. Let's do one for gift. So now I've made my non-inventory product that represents the bundle, and I'm just going to save it. So now I'm going to go down to sales kits, inventory, sales kits. And I'm going to go into my lookup, in my item lookup, and I'm going to find that spa special. Here's why it has to be a miscellaneous or non-inventory item. If it's a regular item, you don't get this choice, miscellaneous. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to select a regular inventory item. I'll just come in here and I'll select this. So this is an inventory item, something I track quantity on. Notice how miscellaneous isn't a choice. So your parent item has got to be non-inventory. So I'll find that spa special. I'm going to use this drop down, make it miscellaneous. I can have a display note if I like. It'll pop up, towards the after I add the item to the ticket. And then down here, I'm going to select the default items. Okay, so by default, it's any of the vanilla and cream variety, vanilla and cream shampoo, vanilla and cream mist, vanilla and cream lotion. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say vanilla and cream shampoo. And I can buy one. And then I'm going to get some mist. So mist. There it is. Then I need some lotion for my bundled product. Okay. Now earlier I said the beauty of a sales kit, a miscellaneous sales kit, is not only can you sell, everything bundled together at a lower price, but you can allow the customer some choices. In order to allow some choices, my advice is to define substitute items for the default item. So this is what's going to show up on the sales ticket. But at the point of sale, if you have a substitute defined, so I'm going to just go to edit here. I'm going to go to my substitutes tab. If there's a substitute here, this can be swapped out for this, for the vanilla and cream. So they can swap it for lavender. And it's easy to add a substitute. You just click on this plus sign here and say, what's another one I have? Lavender, I have eucalyptus. Oh, it probably won't let me choose that because it's in a bill of material. We'll choose this golf club. That can be a substitution, right? You can have the lavender shampoo or you can have the golf club. But the point is, the substitutes have to be listed on the item record. So in the miscellaneous sales kit itself, down at the bottom, you can say defined substitutes. So you can use a defined substitute for this. You can use a defined substitute for this. Notice your other option is any item. I think that's a little dangerous. You probably don't want to do that. I would definitely have the defined substitutes. Here's another cool thing about a miscellaneous sales kit. Let's say one of your defined substitutes is more expensive than the default or less expensive. Well, you can tell the sales kit to just leave it alone, price adjustment none. So I don't care if the lavender is more expensive, just sell it for $49.99. Or you can say, increase only. If the substitute is $1 more than the default, well, then the price of the gift basket goes up $1. That's only on an increase, not a decrease, only an increase. So if the substitute is less expensive, it's still $49.99. Then there's a just price. This goes either way. If the substitute is more expensive, then the gift basket gets added that amount, that difference. If the substitute item is less expensive, then the gift basket gets that difference, less the $49.99. So if it was $1 difference, $1 cheaper, then the gift basket would be $48.99. If it was $1 more expensive, then the gift basket would be $50.99. So that's pretty nice that you can do that. All right, so let's see how this looks at point of sale. My special for the holidays. Oh, good, and I even left point of sale open. Yay. So notice all your components appear, the original price. That's what your salespeople see that on the screen. They see the original price. And then they see that, Counterpoint has said, well, this is what it's actually selling for because I need to make it add up to $49.99. So if I had an item that was a higher price, I'm just going to override that price. Let's make it, well, not that one. Oh, I don't think I can do it on the line level, can I? Nope, only at the finished product level. Anyways, let's say my spray mist, let's say it was $30 or $40. Well, then the price would be a little bit higher than the other two because it's a more expensive item, so it gets more of the share of the sales price. All right, let's go ahead and cash out. Okay, and let's look at the receipt. So you can see it lists the finished product, but it also lists the components. And if you have discount notifications turned on for your receipts, it'll even show you your savings. I'm going to close out of there, close out of there, close out of here, and I'm going to post my sales. And we'll look at some reports. So when it comes to my ticket history, point of sale, reports history, ticket history, and I'm just going to filter for today's date. Okay, so here's from the bill of material. This is from a miscellaneous sales kit. This is from a bill of material. This is from a tag-along sales kit. And here's the other miscellaneous sales kit. Oh, I forgot to show you the substitutions. Here, let's do that real quick. I'll have to log back into point of sale because that's important, especially if you want to offer your customers choices. So we'll go back into point of sale. Knew I was forgetting something. And also my spa special. Whoops. Let's go into the lookup and keyword search, right? Spa special. So remember I allowed substitutions for this item. And so if I go into my lookup, I can select a substitution. I can select that golf club if I wanted to. If you don't allow substitutions for an item, then this is grayed out. The item lookup is grayed out. They can't get into it. So that's how you deal with substitutions. Okay, so now let's look at a sales history report. So I'm going to go to sales history reports, and I like sales analysis by group. One of my favorite reports. I go to options and load parameters. I want sales by item. And we'll preview. So here you can see the component sales for my spa special, but you also see a quantity sold for the spa, for the bundled product item. So this will throw off your quantity sold if you run the report this way. So what you could do is run the report excluding this, because you're just interested in those component sales. So I'm going to exit from here. So if I want to just exclude that product, so it's not, adding to my quantities for total quantity sold, I'm just going to go to ticket history line right here. I'm going to modify the filter by right-clicking somewhere where, you can't right-click over here. It gets mad. So somewhere like over here, just click on Customize. And instead of item number between, I'm going to say item is not exactly. So I just clicked on the word between. Item is not exactly. Now I'm going to simplify the filter by right-clicking, choosing Simplify. And I'm going to say, show me my sales except for the spa special. Don't put that on the report. So now when I preview, my quantity sold is more accurate because that spa special isn't here. You could also do it the other way around. Maybe you just want to know, hey, how many of those bundled product specials did I sell? How did that do, over the holiday season? So you come back and again, it's going to require modifying your filter. So I'm just going to right click Customize. But this time I'm going to say item number is exactly. I'm going to simplify my filter by right clicking and I'm going to preview. So now all I'm focused on is how many of that special did I sell? Okay, so that is bills of material, sales kits, and the corresponding reporting. So let's go back into the PowerPoint presentation and we'll take that from the current slide. And let me just get rid of this presenter's view. So hopefully your takeaways here is, first of all, you know the difference between a bill of material and a sales kit and the functionality. So you should know how to define a bill of material. That's your recipe. Don't forget to do your quick assembly so your inventory is impacted. And then how to set up a tag-along sales kit. Maybe you're collecting bottle deposits or putting some type of services along with the product you're selling. Again, it's full price selling. Oops, come on back here. And then how to define a miscellaneous sales kit. So where you bundle a product together, you don't have to make a gift basket and put a ribbon on it or anything, but you bundle the product together. And if it's purchased together, then it's less expensive than if you bought each item separately. So what you probably missed was our next month's subject, which is November the 2nd, sales and merchandise analysis reporting, creating, saving, and recalling those reports, and some other useful reports. When you get the link to your recording, you'll have a survey attached. I'd appreciate it if you fill it out. Give me your feedback, give me topic suggestions. You can remain anonymous. Or if you want to fill out the survey today, go to our website, www.cksystem.com/training bites survey. Or you can also call me if you want to have customized training tailored to your business. Call me at the main number, extension 3, or training@cksystem.com. All right, so let's go into Q&A now, now that you could hear me. So any questions? Any questions at all? Okay, looks like there aren't any questions. So with that being said, thanks a lot for attending. Come back and visit me on November the 2nd for the reports webinar. And everyone have a lovely afternoon.